Good, beautiful morning, everybody. It is Friday, February the 24th, 2022. I want to welcome you to the Friday edition of Shortcuts to Your Soul, our Q&A version, where we're going to talk about the dark side of mysticism, mediumship, and more. It's mostly about Q&A, so any questions you have you want to ask, we will do our best to provide you with sound answers based upon the information that we receive from our guides, our angels, and other dimensional beings. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, YouTube. We're just going to get off to a gentle start this morning. I saw this fascinating little report this morning on some of the events that go on in Africa with regards to shamanism and mysticism and mediumship that happens in these poorer countries where they take children from villages. They even go as far as to buy children. They perform sacrificial rituals on children in Africa. And this has to be addressed, this dark side of mysticism and mediumship, which is often shrouded in mystery and fear, which it should be. If you're harming children or using them as implementations for your own personal gain, that is absolute madness. So there is a dark side to mysticism and mediumship, and it needs to be addressed because the entirety of mediumship has been painted for many, many thousands of years with the brush that it is somehow inherently evil. And I would say to you to consider then the people of this world, just the people of this world, politicians and leaders. There is lots of evil in regular human beings, political leaders, military leaders, spiritual leaders. There is both good and evil on all spectrums of our creative process. One of the things they wanted me to talk about this morning was this concept that you must understand the distinction between good and not so good. Or if you want to use the term evil, you can use the term evil. But watching these reports today about what they do to these children in Africa, and that's only the ones that they know about. And I got this report from a group that we support called Our Underground Railroad, which is an organization that assists ending the trafficking of children in the sex slave trade, as well as trying to protect their welfare and well-being globally. Now, mediumship is an innate part of everyone. Every single human being has a spiritual nature. Everyone, regardless of your station in life. Everyone has an aspect of themselves that is multidimensional, multi-perceptual. The function of love in mediumship, is the spectrum upon which I and many others function from. There's also the spectrum of fear, or what you might call evil, that many others function from to take advantage for themselves at the expense of others. If your vibrational state is low, you are likely to connect to lower vibrational energies. It's just what happens. Birds of a feather flock together. To the degree and extent that you are able to elevate your energy up, then you can begin to trust from the perspective of your vibration as opposed to chance or possibility. And this is a difficult subject for me because there's a lot of people that don't realize how many answers you have for your own questions, how many ways you can resolve the issues in your life if you knew how to access your spiritual nature, your soul, your intuition, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, your claircognizance, inner faculties that will allow you to see, hear, know, and feel the truth, or to feel the lie. To make clear and definitive distinctions about what is right for you and what is not right from you, not from what you've been programmed to believe by society, not what you've been conditioned by your environment to believe you're supposed to believe. But you have a fundamental nature that transcends the conditioning of your 5 physical sensory personality. And these other aspects of your being, these spiritual faculties, can be used in a positive way or a negative way. But first, they have to be opened. They have to be developed. They have to be cultivated in the spirit of a higher vibrational state. To that end, we were given things to teach others about how to raise your vibration from a lower state of consciousness to a higher state of consciousness, to begin to differentiate yourself from the personality that the world's given you, and to allow yourself to reconnect to who you really are. And I don't care what age you are, whether you are a rebelling 2-year-old or a rebelling teenager or an adult that's confused and upset. Inside you right now, there is an innate aspect of yourself that knows the truth of who you are and is lost in the confusion of who you are not. When I was guided to become what I am today, it was under the understanding that it was to end and remove confusion from the eyes of the soul, who you really are. Part of you that knows when something is wrong and when something is not wrong. Part of you that innately would naturally be able to know the truth in any moment. There's an aspect of yourself that is like that knows what is good and what is not good. And the function of the beings that work with me is to bring people to that higher truth of yourself, that higher knowing, where you can definitively assess a situation and check in with your intuition, check in with your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, your claircognizance, and you can know things. How many times have you said to yourself, I knew that was going to happen, but it still happened and you didn't prevent it, not because you didn't want to, but because you're so entrenched in your personality that you can't differentiate from what the world has told you to believe is true and what you know is true. And so the function of this channel is for that purpose, to awaken you to your natural God-given faculties that allow you to know what is right for you, to know how to heal your mind and your body from the wounds that the world has imposed on you by the control and power mechanisms that exist and are prevalent throughout human civilization today. But to awaken those faculties is a process. Just as you are conditioned into the personality of your 5 physical senses, you have to train yourself to reconnect to these other internal senses. You have to learn to step away from what the world has told you to believe and think about the world and rediscover your innate knowing and understanding and perceiving beyond the spectrum of the 5 physical senses. You are a soul. And we get so many questions from so many people that know that there's something not right. There's something not right, but they cannot pinpoint what it is. And what is not right is that you are disconnected from the truth of who you are as a divine entity. And the term divinity has been hijacked by religion for many thousands of years under the guise that there are certain individuals that have a better understanding of who you are than you can discover of yourself. That they would tell you that this is divinity and this is not divinity, or this is good and that's not good, rather than from your own internal understanding of these knowing senses, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. These senses can allow you to reevaluate who you are aside from the constraints of your personality, the beliefs, the ideas, the information, the personality the world has given you. That there's a part of you that can stand apart from that and begin to reevaluate your mind and begin to rebuild your mind in the image and likeness that best reflects who you truly are as a sentient, loving, and creative intelligence. So that's what you are in your essence. You are a loving and creative intelligence. You may have been given a personality that's not so loving and not so powerful, but your true nature is a function of love. But the personality can turn that function of love into a function of evil. And it must be addressed. We must look at the truth that there is a dark side to mysticism and mediumship, and there is a beautiful light side to mysticism and mediumship. This movement of ascension that we're seeing on the planet right now, and I'm speaking more as myself, although I feel the others with me too. this movement of ascension where these energies are literally coming into the planet. They are affecting our bodies. They are affecting our minds. They are affecting our souls. And if you do not understand how to utilize and integrate these energies effectively, then the dominant emotional qualities with which your mind and body are trained into will be amplified accordingly. That is, if your emotional state is generally negative, then these incoming energies will amplify your negative expression as equally as the energies coming in can amplify your positive expressions. Not to mention the health considerations that are involved here, that these energies electrically are affecting you in a positive or negative way, depending upon your constitution, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The Ascended Masters have told me many times that the function of teaching was to connect people to who they really are as a divine entity coming into a physical medium to learn the process of creation. I was really fortunate last night to be channeling Nelson Mandela in one of our masterclasses. In fact, the last masterclass of our 104 program. And he was talking about the function of love. There's a function of love that is natural to who you are. And there's a way for you to get back to your function of love. And your function of love will guide you to do all the right things for your body, think all the right thoughts for your mind, and do all the right things in your actions. And it really blew my mind when he talked about this function of love, that we have to awaken that function again. Suffering isn't necessary. So this process of raising your vibration, especially with these incoming ascension energies, becomes very important. Learning how to raise your vibration, your energy, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You will awaken yourself to a very different creative process than your personality allows you to execute. The thoughts, the memories, the emotions that you've acquired from this world can restrict you or liberate you. They can restrict you or liberate you. But if you are aware of those thoughts, those memories, those emotions, you can begin a process of selection and creation, whereby you can begin to restructure and reorganize your thoughts, your memories, and your emotions, and how you utilize them creatively in your world, in your individual life. Now, I know this is Q&A day, and I want to start looking at some questions right now. But understand that in the spectrum of all realms of human experience, please understand that there is good and evil in all realms of human experience. There are good and evil in all realms of the mental personality. But the essence of your nature is that you are love. If you are bound in believing that the thoughts and memories and emotions are the sole locus of your identity, then you will be confused, or you may be in darkness and pain and in suffering because you are attached to beliefs and ideologies that do not support the vibrational nature of who you are. So you feel conflicted internally, not because you want to feel that way, but because you have not learned how to differentiate yourself from your thoughts, your memories, your emotions, and your biology, and learn to become a caretaker over them. And once you become a caretaker over your mind, your body, your thoughts, your emotions, you begin to learn your function of creation. You came here to learn the function of creation, not to get lost in the pleasures of matter, time, and space. The function of would necessitate that would be pleasurable anyway, but not to lose yourself in the body or lose yourself in thought to such an extent that you cannot be effective in the process of creating the life that you wish to create for yourself. And there's nothing fundamentally wrong with anyone, except that they have not learned to distinguish between what they've been taught to believe about reality that is true or not true and who you really are. In our program, we endeavor to bring people to a place of a higher vibrational nature, not the lower vibrational nature, to a higher vibrational state. What does that mean? It means you learn how to raise the vibration of your body with proper, good, and constructive ways of putting food and nutrition in the body. You learn to re-educate your own mind, to teach it what thoughts to have and what thoughts to delete from your mind. And in doing so, you begin to reshape the emotional energy that is stored within your body. And you can learn to do that. You can learn to do that. There are many schools and trainings around the world that you can do that with. We have one. It's called Masterclass 101. It's called Awakening. Awakening. Where you begin to learn to differentiate between the mind and body personality and begin to awaken yourself to who you are as a spiritual entity, here to learn the function of creation. Learn to distinguish who you are from what the world has conditioned you to think you are supposed to be. It does not have to be that difficult. It can be fairly enjoyable and easy and exciting and dynamic to liberate yourself from unnecessary suffering, unproductive beliefs, a diminished biology because you've not understood how to care for it properly. I have a super chat from Christy. Why does my sciatica continually flare up? Is it psychological? Thanks for that super chat, Christy. I really appreciate that. No, it's not psychological. It's emotional, and the emotions are sustained by deep-rooted emotional beliefs about past events that you have not resolved. There are emotions stored deep in the root of your body, which is why it is in this lower part of your body. It is stored in there. It is speaking to you. Your body is speaking to you, saying, I need something. I am not being heard. And it will speak loudly until it is heard. Do not be so quick to dismiss or attack your pain in your physical body. Do not be so quick to dismiss it and attack it. Go to it. Be present with that pain. Be compassionate with that pain. Be kind and gentle with that pain as you would a child that was crying before you. Go there. Now, go to that place of that physical pain. Extend your kindness, your compassion, your support for the consciousness there. It's speaking to you. It's calling to you for your love, for your compassion, for your kindness. I'm also being told that there are some muscle structures in your lower back that need to be strengthened because of this. That process will begin to heal as well when you start transforming the emotions, because the fear and anger and judgment that are stored in that part of your body, when they get transmuted with your compassion, because compassion and love will transmute a negative emotion. Compassion and love will transmute a negative emotion stored in the body. Your body's not in pain. Your body's not in pain because it wants to be in pain. It's in pain because it's communicating to you that it needs something that it's not getting. The same way as a hungry child would cry to you if it were hungry until it is fed. Or if a child falls and injures themselves, they'll cry until they're assuaged of their pain. So too, whether you are in an adult body, your body is still an instrument that will speak to you on the level of its language. In this case, it is pain or pleasure. That is a very simple and easy mechanism. But I'm asking Archangel Raphael also to go to you, to guide you in understanding and healing this function in your body. Let's take a look over TikTok. So this Q&A day, and I do want to honor that so much, but I'm not pressed for time today, so we can really dig deeply into this. Here we go. Hi. So somebody's saying, Valley. Hello, Valley. I recently lost my mom. I've been completely lost without her. Is there any way to connect with her? Yes. Right now, Val, listen to me very carefully. Because the reason you're asking this question is because she is connecting with you. You're asking this question because she is connecting with you. Yes, she wants you to first sit down in a comfortable chair. Sit in a comfortable chair and take a few slow, deep breaths. The sadness that you're feeling, she's telling me that you're feeling it in here and up around here, that you're feeling the sadness in the morning. You store that in here. That's where she's been trying to connect you energetically through those parts of your biology. So sit down in that chair and just feel the energy. What you're calling sadness is the point where your mom is trying to connect with you, but a part of you believes she's gone. And that belief is in conflict with the truth. She's simply not in a physical medium of expression, but she wants you to sit down right now. And she wants you to feel the love that is trying to come into you. She's trying to let her love come into your mind and heart so that you know that she is not out of existence. She's just not in a body anymore. A lot of people don't understand when you leave the physical body, you don't have a physical body to communicate in words and gestures. You are a non-physical entity, a spirit, if you like, consciousness. It's well been established even through religious dogma that there is an afterlife, right? It means you're just simply not in a physical medium of expression. She wants you to sit. She wants you to feel her love. Feel what's trying to come into you from her. And breathe. Feel the energy. Feel the way she presents her energy to you. Right now she says it more. She tries to put pressure on you to receive. But your resistance is in the belief you have that she no longer exists. And I want to say this, and it will be said many, many times because they keep telling me to keep saying it. And that is this. When you find yourself and you've lost a loved one, and you're walking around, you're thinking about them and you're feeling about them, that's because they're with you. They're trying to communicate to you on the level that they're at. Put yourself in a position where you're open and receptive to them and just feel the presence of their energy. You're a soul, an awareness. You're not just a body meat sack. You don't just perceive through sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. You have these other senses. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You have these other senses that you can open up to. You can learn to open those senses up. Do it right now. And Val, please leave a comment in the video section, in the comment section, about what you experience energetically from her. Because she says she's saying, finally, you're receiving the love. You're receiving my love. And she's receiving yours in that. Because if you don't believe if you believe she's gone and she's trying to love you, a part of you is going to block her love from coming in. The minute you receive it, it becomes reciprocal. And we've often seen many people just burst into tears of joy, realizing you can feel the presence of those that are not in the physical body around them. Because you're not just a physical body, you're a spiritual entity as well. Thank you so much for that, Val. Really, really appreciate it. And your mother's a beautiful soul. She says, finally, yeah, I'm able to get through to you. So feel that, feel her energy. And anytime you're suddenly thinking about her, she's present with you. So hi, Pollywogs. I like that. I haven't heard that term in a long time. Can you speak to one of my lost relatives? Is it possible? It's possible, yes, and it's possible for you as well. Understand you have these 5 faculties. They're telling me something about gardening tips. They want to give you some gardening tips. Yeah, gardening tips. Again, I don't know who they are. As a medium, I'm still in the learning process of understanding this communication, because it's like anything you learn new, you experience and your knowledge wisdom grows. They're very clear about this. Guys, the term they're using is gardening tips to you. Please tell us what you know that means. Gardening tips. Then something about a shovel. But that's it. You understand, every one of you can learn to open up your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, your claircognizance. You have those faculties. You've just been so conditioned by the world of the senses that you're lost in matter, right? You're stuck in matter. Oh, hello. Hello, Jesus loves you. Thank you so much. You know, one of the things I want to say about that is it's really important you understand that Master Jesus, as you understand, is not a physical being all the time. He's not a physical being all the time. It's really important that you understand that. Oh, let me just push these two buttons here. Let me tell you something else. So somebody's saying here, repent to God and turn away from the kingdom of the devil. Jesus is calling, come back to the Father. No one can leave the Father entirely. Everyone is on the journey home. Some can get very far, far away and fall into great darkness, but you can never disconnect yourself completely from the love of God, ever. In fact, everybody's on the journey back home. Thank you. Sending you much love, brother. Wonderful. So Nari's asking, I feel so upset by a specific person and I don't know why it hit me hard. Do you have a message for me? Yeah, it hit you hard because the emotions of self-judgment, you're still holding them. Do not view yourself through their energy. You need to release. You need to release the emotion. Like, breathe and release the emotion from your body. You can do that. It's your body. So the emotion that they projected at you, you're holding on to it. Stop holding on to their energy. Breathe and release it. Like, literally, slowly, intentionally make a decision as you're breathing. I'm releasing these old emotions back to them. I return to them what is theirs with love and grace. If you're gonna give emotions back, release old emotions that people have projected on you, release them with love and grace. You don't want to project them back with anger or frustration. You'll just amplify it between the two of you, and the condition and circumstances will repeat themselves again and again. You want to release their negative emotions that they project at you with love and grace. And you'll be amazed at not only how you'll feel, but some of these circumstances and situations will change because you've changed your energy. So all you got to do is change your energy. Don't try to make the other person change. Change your energy and watch what happens. Love is miracle-mindedness. Hello, someone's asking, Green-eyed girl, should I contact Jeff? Should she contact Jeff? They're saying yes, but do so without demand or expectation of your own desire. Do so from the understanding that it is love that you're there to extend, not to take, but to give. But there's a small note of caution that you must do so from love. Do not do so from need or want. That's part of the problem with humanity right now. So many people are caught in need and want, that they're taking and they're stealing and they're doing all kinds of atrocious things on the planet. Great question. We got something going on over here. Oh, got lots of comments on YouTube. Sorry, guys. I'll catch up here. Question from Desiree Mazzola. Hi, Debbie. How you doing? Is karma a soul function, or is it more a personality or label aspect of our lives? That's a great question. Is karma a soul function, or is it more a personality or label or aspect? Karma is a function of energy. This is what they keep telling me. When you hold on to emotions, or people project or stick their emotions on you, which parents and people raising children will project their own emotions onto their children, right? Their own thoughts, their own emotions get projected onto children. The children receive them. The children don't have filters to release that emotion, so they hold on to them. But emotions are simply that, energy in motion. It's stored in biology. Your emotions in this dimension are stored in your body. All emotions, all memories are stored in your body. When you release an emotion, that is, you let go of any old emotions you hold onto, you'll move into a transcendent state. You begin to transcend the causal effects of the emotions that you currently exist in. So on the level of personality, emotions are acquired. On the level of self-awareness, you can generate your own emotions. You can generate love. You can generate anger. You can generate fear yourself, and you can create those energies. And each will create its own result. From the perspective of your soul, you are creative. From the perspective of your mind and body, your personality that the world has given you, you are often, more often than not anyway, subjective to what the world is giving you. So you may easily rise above that by learning how to transform, transmute, and release old emotions from your body and your mind. That is a function that a soul can do. You are a soul. You are not simply the body that you are existing in. The body is the instrument that you were given to learn the function of creation. You're in that body to learn the function of creation, each and every beautiful one of you. You're here to learn the function. Wow. Yeah. And by the way, you store emotions very specifically, Debbie. Everybody stores emotions in specific place in the body. Some people store fear in their chest area. Some people store fear in their arms. Some people store fear in their legs. The emotions are stored in specific places in everyone's body, and everybody knows if they develop this skill, you can pinpoint where certain emotions are stored, and you can learn how to release them. We go into great detail about how to do this in our 101 Awakenings Masterclass, where you begin the process of self-awareness. Thank you, Chris. Chris is talking about the classes, courses. Yeah. So Ruth is asking, can one disappear karma? Great question, Ruth. And yes, I wouldn't say disappear karma. It's transmuting the energy of karma from one state to another. So if you're holding on to a lot of anger, that anger generates a field that causes certain events in time and space. And those effects of those emotional energies that we hold on to, the effects are what karma is. The moment you alter or change an existing emotion in your body, you will alter the karma that emotion produces. So if I've held on to a lot of anger in my life, and I got it in my body, but one day I say, this anger is uncomfortable, it's painful, I want to transform it and release it. And I learn the process of how to transform and transmute and release old emotions from the body. As you learn that function, a beautiful thing happens. Your energy changes, and you begin to experience the world changing around you as you change your energy. So in that sense, yes, karma is changed energetically from one state to another. Emotion causes events in time and space. And when you can change emotion, you change what happens in your time and space. And any emotion that you have, whether it's high anxiety or depression, anger, fear, guilt, shame, and I've lived in all of those in great measure in my lifetime. But all of those can be transformed and changed. You can learn the function of how you as an awareness can alter and change emotional energy stored in your body and the thoughts in your mind that are connected to it. You can release those. And once you change your energy, your karma, that is the effects around you, begin to change. It's a really beautiful, wondrous thing. We have many people come through our courses that say how in awe they are about what the changes have been in their life and in their relationships. People that for many years were very dysfunctional are suddenly really functional, because once you change your energy, it changes and affects everyone, everything connected to it. It may not happen right away, but it does happen. And when you start to bear witness to that, you learn. When you experience your capacity about changing emotions and watching how the change in those emotions affects change in your world, you start to remember how to create, that you create the situations and circumstances. What most people are struggling with is most of the information and thoughts they've been given came before they could evaluate or analyze them. So a lot of what's happening in people's lives, they're not even conscious of why it's happening. They think something out there is causing them to feel a certain way. No. Something within you trained you and conditioned you to think, feel, and believe certain things, and you're believing in those thoughts, emotions, and ideas creates functional behavior and conditions in your life. Your confusion can end when you remember who you are. And I promise you, if you learn who you are as this spiritual entity, that you have a body and a mind, that you're here to learn the function of creation through, not to destroy or manipulate or despise or hate your own body, but to learn your function of creation, to learn your function of creation. And believe me, I've been on that full spectrum of self-loathing and self-judgment and depression. I went through that most of my early life. And it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. One of the things they said to me that was the primary function of what I'm here to do is to help others to liberate themselves from unnecessary suffering. And I've gone through enough to understand the process, and they've been teaching me many different ways of facilitating this. When the Ascended Masters teach it in our Masterclass, when they teach to us, some of the information and ideas they give us is just elegantly simple and profoundly uplifting. When you're in the presence of a different energy, it's like going outside on a cloudy day versus going outside on a sunny day. You know, you go outside, the clouds are out there and the rain's coming down. It's like, ah. But you go out in the sunny, it's like, ah, yeah. Well, when you encounter the energy of an ascended master, it's like that. It's like stepping into a sunny day, right? And then you learn how to change the clouds, which is the lower vibrational energies in your mind and body. You learn how to transform and transmute those energies. Very important to be able to do that. So a great question, Ruth. I really like, can one disappear karma? I haven't been asked that question that way before. Yes, question from Nancy. Who is the energy that comes to me when I ask? I feel tingling in my crown and sometimes body chills. Thank you. You got Ascended Master Sanat Kumara, who is working with you. Yes, his name is Sanat Kumara, right? But you also have Master Saint Germain has worked with you too, in trying to help you transform the negatives in your life. Yeah, it's really great that you're opening up to the sensations, because your body, if you train your body properly, it can perceive beyond the range of its natural processes. Because you as a soul can elevate the consciousness of your body up, right? Your body in and of itself will basically just remain an animal for the entirety of your life unless you train or elevate the consciousness of it up. You know, you've got to train and teach your body to function in very specific and precise ways. But yeah, it's really fun when you start sensing their energy, because your guides, your angels, ascended masters, other multidimensional beings are real and they exist. They just do not exist in physical time and space, but they exist in energy. And you can learn to perceive them, excuse me. You can learn to perceive them. It's very exciting. Question from Susan Hickman. Is there an easy way to turn around my rash of bad luck? Yes. Let go of the emotion that you're feeling that's connected to it. It's not the outside that's responsible for the inside. It's the inside that's responsible for the outside. They want me to tell you, just relax, move into love and grace, release your fear and expectation of suffering. Release your fear and expectation of suffering, that you may bear witness to your own freedom. Wow, I like that. Thank you so much. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. How does it work, please? How do we get added to the list? I'm not sure what list you're referring to, but if you're wanting to join our masterclasses, we have our 101 masterclass called Awakening, which begins March the 4th. You can go register on my website through either torontomedium.com or williammichaelforbes.com. Again, it's 3 weeks. I think Chris has said it up here. The course is 3 weeks long. The Ascended Masters teach most of the classes. We have a total of 4 instructors in the program that spans 3 weeks. There's 25 plus hours of learning and instruction on learning how to sense energies, how to connect your guides and angels, how to alter and change your mind and body in a conscious and deliberate and simplistic way. Your mind and body are not complex instruments. They're very easy to learn to use. Your conventional psychologies and systems of mental health would tell you that the mind is a very complex and very difficult to understand thing. And we would say to you the opposite, that your mind is a very simplistic instrument, as is your body, that you have simply not been given the correct instructions by which you can operate it. But you can certainly acquire those instructions. Come join us. Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Ellen. Ellen's asking, any message from my guides concerning my mother's behavior? Her Alzheimer's is bad. Understand, it's not the Alzheimer's that's bad. What's bad is the fact that she's leaving so slowly. I'm just tapping into her higher self. You need to assure her that she is perfectly safe at all times. Place your hand on her heart. Do not let your fear or anger guide any of your actions. Hold back all judgment. Have compassion for this one that is transitioning fearfully from this world. This one is transitioning fearfully from this world. Help her to release her fear. Let her know she is safe at all times. Let her know. And by that, she's saying, talk to her body, right? Because she's not in her body the same way she used to be, which is why it's so confusing when people are leaving the body. They don't function as the same personality, but she's in a transition room. So she wants you to talk to the body, assure the body that it's perfectly safe, it's perfectly fine. Just keep reassuring it. Hand on her heart, like put your hand on her, over her physical heart, and be honest and loving and kind and compassionate. Let her know she's perfectly safe, no matter what. Okay? And remember that too. You're assisting your mother in making this move in consciousness. And it can be really scary if you don't know what's actually going on. You know, it's a very challenging thing for some people, this thing called transition from the physical dimension to the non-physical dimension. Some of you will go very quickly from the physical dimension to the non-physical realms. And some of you are a little uncomfortable and nervous and will hold on in whatever fashion you can. You are just not sure. Especially the new souls that are here for the first or second time learning the rules of communication and transitions in consciousness and energy. Thank you so much. Hi there. Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. Schroeder. I think it's Schroeder. Thank you. Any messages for Schroeder? Wow. The words I'm getting and are to look upwards to the heaven. And is there another way that can be said? Because I'm hearing that as something very different. Yes. So another way that can be said is elevate your attention to love. Elevate your attentions to love. Elevate your attentions to love. Love is a vibration. It's a beautiful statement. Thank you. Love is a vibration that you are. Thank you, SJK, for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Chris. Question from Ian. Hi, William. How do we know when we are communicating with a being of light or a being of darkness or a trickster being? This is a great question, Ian. Thank you so much for asking that. Because this idea, there are lower vibrational entities and there are high vibrational entities. But to address the question really quickly, you can know because you will feel it. The function and vibration of love is very precise in that it will elevate your energy. It will elevate your thoughts. It releases all fear. That is the hallmark sign of a higher vibrational entity, in that your energy goes up. The hallmark of a lower vibrational energy is that it brings you towards fear and uncertainty. That being said, we would also say that you may yourself have ideas and beliefs about non-physical entities that could predispose you in a form of judgment that you may misperceive them. We would recommend that you learn the process of sensing their presence and learning the function of discernment. Learn the function of discernment so that you can, and again, many of you are lost, disconnected from your function of discernment because you are so connected to the beliefs, ideas, emotions, information that the world has given you exclusively. And you become disconnected from your higher spiritual faculties, where you are claircognizant, where you will clearly know things to be true or not true. Clairsentience, where you can feel something to be true or not true. You know, clairvoyance, where you can see if something is true or not true, and clairaudience, where you can hear and know if things are true or not true on all levels. So these spiritual faculties that you have allow you to perceive information and energy very differently than your 5 physical senses do. Your 5 physical senses can only perceive energy and information from the level of the body, which is survival based. You as a soul, when you learn to differentiate yourself from being subjective to the confines of the mind and body personality and learn to articulate your spiritual senses, you then can add on to these 5 physical senses your spiritual senses and learn to perceive and receive information very differently. But that's a really wonderful consideration because a lot of people are struggling with that. You know, there are lower vibrational energies. There are higher vibrational entities. There is evil and there is good. There is polarity. And it is necessary for us to learn to make proper creative decisions, to know what is good, to know what is not good. In our masterclass, we give you a gentle and slow process on how to elevate the energy of your body, how to elevate the energy of your mind, how to change and alter emotional energy stored in the body. Because if you cannot control your thoughts, emotions, and energy, then you're going to feel out of control. But that's not your natural state. That's the state of not understanding how to operate your own mind, your own body, your own emotions. And again, most of what's on this physical dimension, they tell me, most of what's on this physical dimension does not loan itself to you being free. It loans itself to you being in fear. And only you can make the choice, independent of your environmental conditioning, to be free or not to be free. Wow, thank you so much. Every question is beautiful today. Say somebody on TikTok, oh, hello there. Okay, Alpha, let's do a little lesson here, Alpha. So somebody, Alpha on TikTok, is saying, should I text B today? Before I tell you what I know, I want you to sit down and just take a deep breath and relax. Release all emotions from your mind. Like, just breathe and release the emotions. Just give your body permission to relax. Don't put any attention on what you want to do. Just move into the present moment. And then if you feel around your heart, ask the question, should I connect with B? And feel how your heart responds, how your physical heart responds, the energy around it. Just feel how it responds. The response, often if it's a contraction, usually means no. If it's an expansion, it usually means yes. Again, this is one of many things that you can learn in the masterclass, how to read your own energy properly, how to interpret what your energy is trying to tell you. Great question, though. I love it. Ashwini, your mom wants me to tell you that she's not late. She's always on time. She says she's always on time. She wants me to tell you to stop being so stubborn and just listen to her. Stop being so stubborn and listen to her. What do you want him to hear? You have to get on with things. You have to get on with things, and be happy about it. And be very happy about it. Yes, I'm not done. I am not gone from you. And this is a common thing. If you understand that, okay, I take a glass of water, like this beautiful, wonderful glass of living water here, and we see it in the glass. It's real. It's physical. Wow, it's a glass of water. Wow, isn't that cool? And then we take this glass of water and we pour it into a pot. Now we got a pot of water, and I apply heat to that pot of water. And all of a sudden, the water starts to warm up. I apply more heat, and suddenly the water starts to boil, and then it disappears. It transmutes from one state of the physical dimension into a non-physical state. Souls go through the same process. You will go through that process. You are that process. Your body is a physical dimension that you are in. You are here to learn the function of creation. And you can't escape school. You can't play hooky. You've got to learn to create here. There's no getting out. You can't leave early. I don't want to take class. You have to learn the function of creation. But you're in a physical medium. So think of your body as the glass, and you're the water. And when the time for someone to leave the body comes, it's like getting put in the pot of water, and they leave the physical dimension. They still exist. They're just not physical anymore. And that's true for most. The vast majority of people that have left them, ancestors, multidimensional beings that are here to work with you and guide you and assist you in places where your world is not able to help you. They're here to help you. You just have to learn how to hear. You have to learn how to feel. You have to learn how to know, and you have to learn how to see. The inner senses. Master Jesus talks about it all the time when he says, you have eyes but cannot see, ears but cannot hear. He's saying that your inner senses are not turned on. You've not learned how to use your inner sense of sight and hearing, right? That's what he means. You got ears, physical ears, but you can't hear the spirit, right? You got physical eyes, but you can't see what the spirit's trying to tell you. Beautiful questions today, guys. Hi, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Gemini's asking, what job should I apply for that I will gain successfully? This is a great question. You got a guardian angel named Deborah, and she says, would you please tell her she can do anything? She just has to do it with real excitement. She will succeed at anything if she does this. Yes. Yeah. She's saying also that you have to let go of your fear around this, that you can do anything. Do it with excitement and love. She's saying she will surprise herself. She's been wanting to surprise herself for a long time, but she's been afraid to step forward into this. So what do you want to tell her? Just to be unafraid. To do this, to go forward with excitement and joy. Go forward with excitement and joy. I love that. Should we not all go forth with excitement and joy about anything we do, whether it's doing dishes or vacuuming your carpet, or shoveling your driveway? Should not every part of your life be filled with the joy of your being here in this physical dimension, that you'll only be here temporarily in that body? Ian again has asked that question about how to know if we're connecting to a lower vibrational being or a lower vibrational being. Loretta on Facebook is asking, I'm wondering the reason most of my life that I've been trying to lose weight off my legs, but find it very hard. Plus, having a lot of pain in my knees as a doctor diagnosed me with arthritis. Just from a practical level, I mean, a whole bunch of stuff just came flowing in right away. But fundamentally, the very first starting point is remove all acid-causing foods from your diet. Yes. An immediate thing that I would suggest you from, again, this is from personal experience, you want to take about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in 8 ounces of water in the morning, and again just before bed. It's a little bit bitter. Don't add any sweeteners to it. Take it as it is, and watch after about a week's time. And then after a week's time, come back and share what's changed for you with that, right? Yeah, I know it's calcium. Okay, no worries. Thank you, Loretta. I really appreciate the question. Pure Divine 316 is asking, when I meditate and still myself, I hear ringing in my ears as well, like I am underwater. Is this spirit in my ear or something wrong with my ears? There are a lot of symptoms of different things that are happening right now. A lot of these high-pitched ringings are because of these ascension energies. That is, the frequency of the planet is changing as these new energies arrive at it from our central sun. But there's also the galactic center of our galaxy that's transmitting this new wave of energy. It happens in cycles. And then there's the universal center that's transmitting energies out to all the galaxies. And you want to really be in a place in the meditation. Don't get caught up in the ringing. It will keep you bound to the matter. You want to shift your awareness, surrender your attachment to the ringing, go into the silence above the head, move up here. That's about 10 inches, 12 inches. Move your awareness there. Keep your attention on the silence. What you are seeking will come from there, not from your biology, not from how your body is interpreting these energies coming in. You must ascend your consciousness beyond the perception of the body into the perception of your soul, so that you can receive the inspiration and guidance that you are seeking. Is that not what you're seeking after all? Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's fun to be here today, guys. It really is. There's so much change going on this planet. So yeah, this is really important. The dark side, right? You got to realize there is a dark side to energy. There is a light side to energy. And religious mythologies have conditioned people to believe that it's all bad. Any exploration of that which is outside the realm of the acceptable reality must be bad. But I'll tell you, when Master Jesus ascended to heaven, moved his consciousness from this dimension to another dimension, that's ascension. They have never once said that him moving to heaven was bad or wrong. Because what is heaven? Heaven is a function of love, right? Heaven is a function of love. Hell is a function of fear, right? And we can have both heaven and hell on this planet, and we do right now. And we have to learn to change our energy in order to change the function of it on this planet, and what it does, how it affects people, where people go or do not go. It's become very important to understand that you can change your energy, and that energy is going to organize people. Chris saying here, fear, anger, selfishness, pride, ego, lust, greed, etc. These create negative attraction. Very true, Chris. Very great sentiment to share that. Emily's asking, can we do anything in the afterlife like walk in the park? Absolutely, but not in the physical dimension. In the astral dimension, like you're non-physical. How can you physically walk in a park if you don't have a physical body? If you come back into a new lifetime, and when you come into a new lifetime, you get a new personality that you have to figure that all out. And then you could walk physically in the park again. There are some ascended masters like Master Saint Germain, Raphael, Master Jesus, Buddha, Elijah, Moses, that can actually elevate and lower the frequency of their consciousness to manifest physically in physical time and space. It is possible, but the level of training and knowledge and understanding that's required for that is quite extensive. You know, it took many lifetimes for many of these masters to get to that level of freedom where they recognize, I'm not my body, I'm not the mind, I'm a spiritual entity that reorganizes and structures matter as a function of my consciousness, right? But you can learn to do that if you want to put the time and energy into it. You know, you look at guys that do firewalking, or people that do like Wim Hof, you know, submersing himself in extreme cold. These are beings that are demonstrating that matter is under their authority, the soul. Your body is under your authority. Don't give authority over your body to your schools and your politicians. Stop giving authority over what you should think or not think to authorities that are only interested in what they can get from you. You want to connect to beings that are here to elevate your energy up, to empower you, to liberate yourself creatively as you are. And there are beings that can master biological events. Watch the Shaolin monks. Go on YouTube and check out the Shaolin monks, what they've learned to do with their bodies. So it stands to reason, if there's enough training, one could eventually elevate the frequency of the body from this dimension to a higher dimension. So yeah, that's a great question. Can you walk in the park? There are astral parks. There are dimensions that you will walk on, but it's not a physical dimension like this one. But there are other dimensions of energy. And science is able to measure what it's able to measure with the equipment it currently has, but science cannot measure like the 5th, 6th, 7th dimension that they theorize in there. They know they exist, but the instrumentation has not quite been cultivated to allow them to peer into those dimensions. But you as a soul, you beautiful soul, you can learn to train your awareness to peer into these other dimensions. Your awareness. What do you think dreams are? Where do you think you go when your body goes to sleep at night? You don't cease to exist. You just leave the local identity of your body and you move out of the form. So your perception isn't based in your 5 senses. So oftentimes you don't remember where you go because you're not in a body to remember it that way. But you can train yourself to stay aware and then bring information back. It's what happens with me all the time now when I connect to them, or you ask a question, I tap in. Energy information flows from that realm of energy down to me, right? So you can train yourself to open those pathways up of information, wisdom, and knowledge. Anybody can learn to do it if they're persistent and patient enough, right? Let's see. Hi, Ellen. So Mandeep is asking, is there any spirit that will tell me anything? Yes, there are. You gotta be more specific than that. Go for a beautiful walk today. Meditate. Eat fresh, vibrant, living food. Smile at the next 12 people you meet. Laugh because you can laugh. Asking you shall receive, right? So it's like you ask for something, you get it. Angel followers asking, what do my guides need me to know? Your guides don't need you to know anything. The question is, what do you need to know? And that is the proper question. What do I need to know? And let us tell you quite simply that you need to know that your true essence is that you are not the fear. You are not the fear that you fear. You are the love that you are. You are not the fear that you fear. You are the love that you are. It's all about the energy, folks. Thank you so much for that. It's a beautiful request. This question, do you have a message for me? Please. Hi, Sonia. Thank you so much for that. You don't have to shout. We hear you. You are always heard. You know, in learning, before I answer your question, Sonia, let me just say to everybody, you can learn to hear. You can learn to see beyond what you've been conditioned to believe. You can learn that you're not your emotions. You're not your thoughts. You're a spiritual entity, born of love, here to learn the function of creation. That's the truth of who you are, made in the image and likeness of a loving intelligence, learning to create as it made you in its image and likeness, which means that you can learn to function from love, to learn to create from love. That is a choice. That is a choice that you can make. Now, Sonia, a message for you. I don't know if yes, I know, I will, just a second. If you learn to gently sit down and breathe, meditate, learn to quiet your noisy mind. Yes. These I call them gnomes because of the way I experience their energy, but they're these beings that I identify as gnomes, right? That's the energy they present to me. That's the language my brain can assign to them. But they want you to learn the function of stillness so that you can begin to get free of all that confusion. You can get free from all that confusion. Learn stillness. Your mind is not who you are. Your thoughts are not who you are. Your emotions are not who you are. You are a creating intelligence. You must learn to run your emotions, run your own mind, to be very selective about the thoughts that you would keep in your house and the thoughts that you would ask to exit from your house. That is, by house, they're metaphorically saying about your mind. Your mind is a house, a storehouse of information. You want to let the bad guests out and bring the good guests in. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate the support you're giving other people on YouTube. Thank you so much. Julie is asking, am I on the right path? I feel like I turned far left and now unemployed, but much happier. I know that place, Julie, and so do a lot of other people. We have been so conditioned to pursue stuff for the sake of stuff. That's not to say that having things is wrong or bad. I love having things. But it's really important to have things from a place of your love. That is, your love created them. That what you need to pursue your function of love. All of us must learn to pursue our function of love, which is a creative function, right? And the world did not teach you to function as love. The world, as it has been for the last 112 years, has loaned itself to training you to be afraid. And so you look to something outside of yourself to alleviate yourself of your fears, but it's not working. You must learn that you are able to alleviate your own fears and ascend yourself through love to the things that you would best represent that expression. That is, your love has an expression, whether it is writing or dancing or playing, whether it is being a mother or a father or a sister or a brother. The function of love is very precise in all of its ways, and you must learn to understand it. You must learn to understand that you are love, and you must recognize what the function of love is as an expression you would consciously choose to articulate through you. If you are in judgment or you're attacking others, that is not a function of love. If you're telling other people to harm themselves, that is not a function of love. If you are denying the truth, that is not a function of love. The denial of the truth is not a function of love. Love has a very specific life-serving function. Fear has a very specific life-destroying function. Fear destroys life. Love elevates it. And by that simple rule, you may know what is right for you and what is not right for you. But it sounds like you're on the right track. Yes. The right. Yeah, okay. They said something about right, Julie. Right. W-R-I-T-E. They're saying right. W-R-I-T-E. They're saying right, and you will write yourself. And you will write yourself. I love that. That's cool. Thank you, guys. Yeah, and wonderful, Loretta. Loretta, once you experience what's happened, please come back and share a comment with us in about a week's time. I'd love for other people to hear that. I got a super chat here on YouTube. Question: how can I help my husband Frank heal his back pain? Thank you. Supernatural spirituality. This is a great question. The function of healing is natural to every one of you on this physical planet. The function of healing is natural to every one of you on this planet. This is why a cut in your body will heal, because it is a part of your function healing. And for this dear one, we would quite simply say this: move him to his pain with love. As counterintuitive as that might sound to you, bringing your love and his love to the pain will give him great relief. Yes. So he's had events that have loaned itself, earlier events that loaned itself to the circumstances that caused the back pain. That's what I'm being told right now. So there were earlier events in his life that led to the circumstances that has created his back pain, and it's emotionally based. Most physical conditions in the body have an emotion connected to them. And the minute you can change the emotion, you can change the function of the symptom. Like, have him, if you can, or if he's willing to do this, have him go to the pain. Have him move his awareness to the very center of the pain in his body. When they do healings in the workshops we do, when they do healings, it's amazing what happens. So tell him to bring his love to the pain. Like, go into a place where it's the most uncomfortable and go in there and just have him speak these words: I'm with you and I love you, even if I do not understand you. And have him think or speak those words to the pain like he really means it. And you do the same. You do the same. And he will start to experience a relief almost immediately, and you will start to feel it as well. Not to mention that your concern and fear for your husband is also adding to it. By the way, your emotional concern adds to that. Or your love and your intention to heal will add to that too. But through the function of love, all things are possible. Through the function of love, all things are possible. I love that. Thank you, Master Jesus. Appreciate that. The function of love, all things are possible. Hi there, guys. I'm just scrolling down and see what we got on. Wow. Some great questions here, guys. I won't be able to get to all of them. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it is. Somebody saying on TikTok, Mr. Fahrenheit saying, seems like fear is the real hang up here. Yes, but that fear gives us the opportunity to choose love. We get so used to attacking what we're afraid of that we are at war with ourselves all the time, humans. Literally, we're at war on the planet. And you're looking at the earth. The earth, the earthquakes, the calamities are not coincidental, okay? Our emotional energy affects time, space, and matter. Human collective emotional energy affects time, space, and matter. And you can, if you feel afraid, you feel anxious, you feel depressed, you feel sad, that's an energy. And you're aware of that energy, and sometimes you get lost in it. And I've been there. I've been lost in my depression and anxiety and into all kinds of crazy thinking. I was lost in that. And I learned how to change that with the guidance that I got. I learned how to change emotional energy in the body. It's interesting. I'm saying that it's 11:11 right now. It's a wonderful thing. So you're not here to suffer, but please do that supernatural spirituality. Please do what they ask you to do, and let us know what happens. If your husband's right by you right now, have him do this right now. Make certain that what he thinks and what he says, he can do both, but it's done sincerely to the pain. He's communicating to the pain in sincerity. Sincerity is a vibration. So have him in sincerity. I'm with you. I love you. Even if I do not understand you. Yes, Raphael will be there too. Yes. And you tell them to be aware of what shifts or changes. And then you do the same thing. Look, the only difference between what you're hearing here and what we do in our master classes is our master classes are more intense, more intimate, and more personal, because they want to awaken you. But the function of that is equally distributed here in a slightly different way, because there are far more people scrolling through the question section, and this channel has been growing every day as people become aware of the vibration of love directing them here, because that's what's happening. Your fear and your love are directing you to where you're going. And wherever you find yourself, either fear or love has led you there as an energy. When you learn to alter and change your energy, you can take yourself into most wonderful experiences in this world. You can begin to fall in love with the body. Even that woman, that beautiful woman, Loretta, that we had here about her legs, she had a problem with an ankle, and now, the masters did a little healing on in the classes, and now the foot's fine now. Now she's on to the next thing. Every question has an answer. Every solution, every problem has a solution. Every one of them. And in you is the ability to access that information. And every one of us knows this. We know this. You know this. You know that there's an answer to every question for you. You know that it's not natural for you to suffer. You know this. So you must learn the function of creation to get beyond what you've been conditioned to be. And until you learn that function of creation, you're going to continue in the same track of suffering. Suffering is not something any soul naturally chooses. You get trained into it. Love is your natural function. Love is your natural function. And it does no harm. It does no harm to body, to mind, to others. Love does no harm. Love does not hurt. Fear, that hurts. But love does not hurt. Remember that. Thank you, brother. Jennifer saying, I enjoy being miserable. Well, that's a good thing. Enjoy what you're going to experience. If you're going to be miserable, enjoy it. I think that's fantastic. Wherever you're going to be in, at least enjoy it. But I got to tell you something though. Once you start to enjoy something that's negative, it starts to change from negative to positive, because joy organizes matter differently than fear does. So if you keep enjoying your misery will begin to change. Thank you so much. Sonari saying, I feel my energy was so low for the past 2 days. Do you know why? Yes, I do actually. There is a massive influx of galactic energy right now. Like there's a huge, huge influx of galactic energy coming through our galaxy to our star, and from our star to the Earth. What humans are so arrogant, sometimes that they believe that their little inventions and innovations are what are changing the way the planet is evolving. No, the consciousness is changing in relation to our emotional energy. Our emotional energy affects what we create, what we say, what we do not. Your emotions are what drive everything you're doing. Everything that humanity is manifesting right now is because of the emotions we are generating. And if our emotions are predominantly, one of the things they said that they are doing through me mostly is to facilitate humanity to shift its collective unconsciousness from fear to love. And that shift in consciousness will cause shifts in environmental conditions, just as the movement from love to fear has caused what we're observing happening on the planet today. And earthquakes and weather are very intimately connected to our emotions collectively. There's no escaping that. So the energies that are coming to the planet are either going to lift you up or they're going to bring you down. They'll amplify what you're most dominantly connected to, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So elevate yourself up, guys. Yes, I understand. Madame Windsor is saying 66 year on February 22nd that lost 2 sisters in house fire. 10 years before I was born, I've been dreaming. I dream of days. Dreaming of flying. This idea of death, the word death should be removed from the English and international languages. It should be transition, moving from one state of consciousness into another. That is what it is. When the body is severely damaged, such as in a fire, then the consciousness will not have that body. The personality that you have right now, the personality that I use in this body, will only exist this one time. It will never be repeated again. None of you, the personality that you have right now will never be repeated again. In biology, in spirit, it's always there. It's eternal, right? But I do know that your sisters are with you. They've always been with you. They've been guiding you, leading you, communicating with you. Whenever you find yourselves, for those of you that often ask questions about loved ones that are not in the physical dimension anymore, when you find yourself thinking about them, pause, because that's the moment they're connecting to you. Pause and feel their presence. I do that all the time with my dad, with my other mentors and other beings. Right? Even those who are in physical embodiments, I can feel when they're connecting to me energetically. And you do that too all the time. You just have to learn that you are not alone, that your divine entities, your guides, your angels, your family members, ancestors, they all still exist on a non-physical plane of consciousness, and you can connect to that, right? But you cannot come back as the same personality. Once you come back as the same, once you come back in the body, you'll come back as a different personality. You'll be made into a different personality by this environment, right? Unless you're like Satya Sai Baba, who was able to reincarnate, Master Jesus, who's reincarnating as we speak, and has over the centuries come back as different personalities, but understanding who they are. And so they use the new personality to continue the teaching of the truth, the teaching of love, the teaching of compassion and kindness. They just simply have a different personality. So enjoy the personality you have, remake your personality, make your personality user-friendly, right? So that it's on your side. I'm going to take time for 2 more questions here. Let's go over to Katrina Nadalski. Polish, I believe. Morning, William. Is there more for me in Canada, or is it time to start moving to the USA, or just travel more? See, wow, the traveling more jumps right out instantly. Like somebody shoving that out to you. Traveling. What's the motive? What's the purpose? What's the reason? They're saying there are children and people that you will meet along the way that need your light. That need your light. Yes. They're saying it does not matter where you go. Your soul determines the inevitable outcome of the function. They're saying shake off the stuff. You do not need all these things. Bring your heart. That is the most important thing to bring to others, is your heart. Bring your heart. Wow. Thank you so much, Katrina. Switch over to TikTok. Oh, you're very welcome, Loretta. Okay, let's do, okay, they tell me to do 2 more questions on TikTok here. Let's see what I get here. Miss Pendulum. Sounds almost British, doesn't it? Miss Pendulum. Or Tiffany's asking, any message on how to stop a bad habit? We have in our 1 or 2 masterclass, we go into great detail about how to release the emotions connected to old behaviors. Because a habit, in order for it to function and continue to function, has an emotion. When you can learn to alter or change the emotion connected to the function, then the function changes. Yeah, for you, the anxiety that underlies it is what needs to be released. They're saying that you need to learn how to release the underlying unconscious anxiety that's connected to the habit. And somebody's telling me that they're sorry. I don't know who they are, but they want me to tell you that they're sorry, because this is why you have this habit, is partly due to their influence in your life. And they're just telling me that they're very sorry that they influenced you that way. Yeah, I understand. But you can. Habits can change very quickly if you understand the difference between who you are, what your mind is, and how to alter emotions. When you can learn to alter your emotions, you will learn to change your world very rapidly. Instead of trying to, positive affirmations are good and beneficial. But if you can change emotional energy, if you learn the function of how to change an emotional energy, you're going to be able to change your mind a lot easier, because thoughts in your mind are dependent on emotional qualities that are established in your biology from your memory system. Very fascinating. So I hope more of you guys will sign up. You got like, I think, what did we get? We're at the 22nd. So there's like 24, so there's about another 10 or 11 days left to sign up for the 101 Masterclass, which is called Awakening, where you learn the function of how to sense energies, how to connect your guides, how to connect your angels, and much, much more than that. But you learn the fundamentals of laying a foundation of raising the vibration of your body, raising the vibration of your emotions, altering and changing your physiology by doing that. You'll be amazed at what happens. Anyway, go sign up. My website, WilliamMichaelForbes.com or TorontoMedium.com, and sign up today. Guys, there's a lot of questions. I don't think we're going to get to them all today. But for those of you that gave gifts and super chats, thank you so much, because everything that we receive from our channels, 10% of that goes to a group that we sponsor and support called Our Underground Railroad, as I mentioned in the very beginning. And just so know that you're also donating to that cause as well. And there is evil on the planet, and there is good on the planet. And learn to differentiate between which is what. Do not fear the unknown. Do not fear the mystical. But be mindful of how to discern the vibration of one thing from another. You have it in you. Every one of you have these 4 clairvoyant systems in you: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You have these inner senses that have been undeveloped because of your captivation by the 5 physical senses. When you begin to redevelop those inner senses, it'll allow you to be able to see, to hear, to know, to feel the truth in a very different way than the world has trained you. Because right now, those in fear that are in evil, because people that live in fear are tending to be more in suffering. But those that are evil, dark, wanting to hurt you and control you, manipulate you, and take from you, and steal from you, and harm your children. Those dark ones are evil, and you want to learn how to differentiate between them, because they will tell you that that which is good is bad and that which is bad is good. That's what's going on today. They've got people confused. But inside you are these faculties, these inner senses that if you learn to use them, you cannot be deceived. When you learn to hear with your spiritual ear and see with your spiritual eye, know with your spiritual consciousness, and feel with your spiritual heart, you will not be deceived by anybody. Learn to open up those senses. Every great master throughout history has sought to teach everyone this simple function of love. Love is your true nature. It is who you are. It is who you will always be. Even those dark ones will eventually be pulled back to love. Their suffering will force them, their eventual suffering, the effects of their own creations will eventually force them back to love. I want to wish you all much love, and to all those that had comments of fear and uncertainty, if I didn't get your questions, know that you're loved. No matter what you think, feel, or believe in your mind, love is your true nature. It's who you are. And I want to wish you all a wonderful and a joyful day. And I will see all of you tomorrow during the meditation at 10 a.m. It's a meditation and discussion. We have a weekly show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday we do the meditation portion and discussion of the show. And again, thank you so much. Have yourselves a wonderful, awesome, joyful day. Bye for now.